we are commonly asked, what makes a house a good flip project? Having done hundreds of houses here locally and helped with hundreds more nationally, we're starting to develop a little bit of opinion. So the first thing we would care about, I'd normally say, is the structure. However, I'm standing in a house that had significant termite damage and some rot on the backside of the crawl space, and seems less important at times if you know your construction capacity can fix those specific problems. So there are a number of things when we're evaluating a deal that we think about. Maybe the first is the numbers. You need to have a plan or an expectation for how you're going to think about a project, the possibility of a flip deal, and have a process that you operate off of in order to arrive at the numbers that you think are the most important. So what are you going to pay for it? How much are you going to spend on it? What can you sell it for? What's the unique kind of risk profile of any individual deal? How do those numbers work together? And then obviously, most importantly on the back side of it, can you make money when you sell it? Pretty important piece of the puzzle. So we have a process that we go through where we try to arrive at each of those numbers. Our system acts as a guardrail to kind of protect us from getting emotionally involved in any given investment opportunity. But we're thinking about the numbers on each individual deal, and then kind of in a bigger picture, we're worried about the house. We're going to have Annie jump in here in a minute and kind of talk through what she thinks about from a design perspective. But practically, when we walk into the house, we're thinking about a couple of things. One, can we meet the seller's expectations? Can we create an opportunity where we can provide what it is they need, and we'll work towards a common goal, which is they're selling the house and us providing some capital to them. So that's part of it. Secondly, and this house is a good example of this, we want to be able to provide a house that's going to sort of fit market expectations for what's desirable at any given point. So in this house, we opened up a lot of doorways. This was a very small, closed-off house, and we wanted it to feel like it had a more functional flow, a more modern, open layout. We wanted to create a true third bedroom with a master bathroom. A lot of the time, we're looking at parking, we're looking at closets, primarily the kitchen. People care more about the kitchen and bathrooms than they do anything else. So can we get a house, can we use our construction resources and capacity to create a house that's desirable for what the market is looking for at that time and place? And then obviously evaluating comparables when we go to list it. What can we sell it for and justify through an appraisal process, through a home inspection process? There's a lot of different pieces on the back end, but can we meet the seller's expectations? Can we make a house desirable by today's standards? And what are the numbers that are most important to us, and how do we arrive at them? So that's sort of the basic framework that we're considering when we evaluate any given investment opportunity. And then there's really the design, construction, production piece of it, and I want to jump into that.
Sam talked to you guys about what makes a great flip house, and he talked primarily about the numbers, which nobody really cares about. What they really care about is making it pretty and making it exciting. So that's what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about. We could ask a lot about where to start and on the design side of things, and I try to look at it in 3 different categories. The first being, what is the house capable of? So when you walk into it, what spaces are being underused, and what spaces could we use to make it better, more sellable? So wasted hallways, mudrooms that are oversized, bathrooms that are oversized. Can we use that space for something else? So you really can't change the overall structure of a house within a decent budget. So you have to work with what you've got, and we just look at the house and see what it's capable of and what we can change within the confines of the structure. The second category is what a house needs. And that doesn't just mean what a buyer would want to see or what they need, but also what gets a house through the inspection period. So it's the big ticket stuff, the stuff that we often think of as boring, well, that I think of as boring. Foundation problems, HVAC systems, that sort of thing. But it does have to get through an inspection period. So we had to focus on what it needs. Also though, what a buyer wants and what it needs to be sellable at a certain ARV. The third thing is the fun category, which is what we want to do to it and what a buyer would want us to do to it. So that's the stuff like patterned tile, barn doors, oversized pantries and big cabinets and solid surface countertops, all the fun stuff. So we really try to think through it in those 3 categories, kind of in that order: what is capable of it, what it's capable of, what it needs, and what we want to do to it. And we think of all those things within the confines of our budget.